everyone, Teddy here. Unfortunately, Ree's video script got leaked, so I'll be taking over the channel. Mwahahaha. As you can see, these cars glow. Okay, that's enough, Teddy. I've changed the script. Happy New Year, everybody. Rezone here. And for 2024, guess what? I have a total of 24 cars to unbox for you guys, starting with these glow racers. So we'll be keeping this one in package, but there's 4 cars: Mater, Cruz Ramirez, Lightning McQueen, and Will Rush. 3 of them being racers, 2 of them neck gens being Cruz and Will, and they all glow as you saw before with Teddy. Now let's go to the 15 mystery cars we have here. Let's start with one of the 2 packs. This one's the easiest to guess if you can read the card back, but it's really small. So I'll flash it real quick. So if you saw that, these are 2 next-gen racers, being Will Rush and Tim Treadless. Will Rush we saw before here in glow racer form, but this is a slightly different design and the normal form that you see in the movie. So let's see these 2 cars. So as you can see here, we have the 2 cars, Will Rush and Tim Treadless. So these are next-gen Thailand variants of both cars. Next, we'll move on to the other 2 pack. This one's harder to guess as it's not on the card back, even though there's 4 total cars you'll see in the card back. And these are 2 cars from Cars on the Road, and that'll be Chiefess and Jeremy. These 2 are seen in one of the episodes of the Disney Plus show, and it's during the fight between 2 factions of cars, where Chiefess is one of the leaders. So let's unbox those 2 from the 2 pack. So as we can see, Jeremy has a bunch of spikes and also random tools on him. And Chiefess has like leader attributes such as gold and the huge crown that we'll see on the front. And it's kind of similar to Doc's shape and design. So that's Jeremy and Chiefess. Now we have the mystery singles. And let's see. This one's one of my favorite releases, so we're gonna save this for much later. Let's start with another Cars on the Road single. And this one will be one of the ghosts, Mallory. And this is seen early in Cars on the Road, the Disney Plus show, where there's a haunted hotel that Lightning and Mater go into, and they start seeing ghosts chasing them, which is why this car has this heavy green coloration throughout, including all the way across the bottom of the car and just the whole car except the grille and a little bit of the eyes, which you can see in closer detail. Moving on to another Cars on the Road release. This time we got a variant of McQueen from one of the Cars on the Road episodes, and that'll be him as a deputy. So this is a variant of Lightning McQueen, just like the Glow Racers has a variant down here as Lightning McQueen. But this time he's not in a race car form, and he's actually part of a movie script in the show where he has to play a police officer, and hence the 3 bars on top as a police and the whole deputy uniform. Moving on to another Cars on the Road release. This time, it's going to be similar to the Jeremy release, where we have another spiked character from the same scene of War Factions, and that'll be Squat, who also has spikes on the top, which we'll see soon. So Squat, which we see in close detail, also has the spikes on top, similar to Jeremy, but he has a whole different design, much smaller, but still you can see they have the same theme and idea of the warring factions going on. And we have a few more Cars on the Road releases, starting with this one. This time it's a completely different episode, where they feature clowns. And that'll be Kelly BeanBrite, one of the clowns which is seen in the circus that Mater and Lightning visit on Cars on the Road, the TV show. So as you can see, it's a Volkswagen Beetle type model. And if you look closely, there's like the sphere in the front to represent a clown, and just the whole design is much more colorful than the other cars, which you can see as a clown in a circus vibrancy. Moving on to the last Cars on the Road single that we have here. This one is also from the hotel episode, similar to the Ghost, and that'll be one of the people at the counter, Randy. So Randy is also slightly spooky in expression, which you'll see much closer at the front, and that's for the whole vibe of the haunted mansion and haunted hotel that Lightning and Mater visit in the show, which you can see in the detail of the eyes and mouth, where it's much more scarier than a lot of the other cars. Okay, moving on, we'll go to a much earlier car, someone from Cars, and that'll be someone near the start after the race, where Lightning is giving a speech to a lot of older, rustier cars, and one of those cars is Jonathan Wrenchworth's. And you can see the rustier design once I get him closer. You can see he's green but has a lot of brown markings throughout the car, which is to represent that he's a much older car. And that's why he was at the Rusty's sponsorship, since Rusty's is meant to clean a lot of that dust on the bumper. Now we'll move on to another single, and this one's going to be the smallest one here yet, and that's because it's going to be a pity. More specifically, it's going to be Millie. And Millie comes with an accessory, actually two accessories, one being a cone, but one is attached, which is the cleaner that Millie uses in Cars 2. So this is the cone. And Millie is seen just cleaning the whole venue at Cars 2 near the start, where all of the racers are at Tokyo before the race. And it seems like this also detaches, and this is the cleaner with the pity Millie. So that's the whole set of 3 there. Okay, we're at the last 4 singles, and as a hint, I'll say all of them are racers of some type. Start with this one. This one's one of the next gen racers, and we already saw a variant of it in the video, and the hint's gonna be it's one of the glow racers. So that you can deduce is probably Cruz Ramirez, and more specifically, it's a golden variant where it's shiny rather than just the normal yellow. And this is a Cars on the Road version of Cruz, and this is Cruz at the end during one of the marriages that happens in the show. And you can see that Cruz has a whole gold coloring similar to Chiefstess here, where they're both gold in color. Moving on to the final 3 singles, one of them being my favorite. Start with this one. This is another next gen release, but not a variant of the previous one seen. And that'll be Noah Goche. I know it's upside down, and now it's right side up. And this is the Clutch Aid next gen racer. Clutch Aid being a medical type service, hence the plus sign representing that hospital type cross. Now we're down to the last 2. Both of these are going to be Cars 1 racers, and both of them were originally really rare during the original releases back in the early 2000s. And one of them is Johnny Blamer, the 4-wheel drive racer. This is an original Cars 1 version, and 4-wheel drive, you can see a bunch of drift marks to represent that whole rough terrain type driving on the sponsorship. Okay, and this is my favorite single release from here, and it's also a Cars 1 racer who was very rare in the original 2000 runs. And he has a candy style sponsor, and in fact, he looks like a gingerbread man. From that, you can guess that it's Taco Man, where he has the whole gingerbread scheme as his sponsor, being Taco Mint. And you can see the brown and white to represent the frosting and the whole gingerbread aspects of the car. So that's going to be number 101 Taco Mint Racer. And his name is Greg Candyman. And that leaves the final 5-pack, which is the 100-year anniversary of Disney. As a special, they released silver versions of a lot of the main cast of characters, being Lightning, Sally, Mater, Ramon, and Flo. And if you saw my original video, you would have seen the normal variants of all 5 of these cars. And this is now silver variants of them with subtle parts that are colored, such as Sally's hood and Mater's hood you can see in the front here. And there's also some other attributes for the other cars, for Lightning, Flo, and Ramon on the sides. So now try opening this. See now in a more clear detail of the sides and throughout the cars. Get a more clear design. And also do that for the glow racers that you saw at the start of the video. Where we also have Mater with that front part. And that's all 24 cars for 2024. Thank you for watching my 2024 release video.